Hi, good morning everyone. Myself Karthikeyan. I'm working as a TPF developer in TPF software. Today we're going to see the transaction recording and examination. We used to call this as a zTREX. In other words, we can call this as a performance analyzer. Let me explain why we need zTREX. Basically, TPF application programmers code a lot of application programs, but they don't know what kind of resources they are using, system performance or not. So zTEx is a tool which helps us to identify what kind of resources we are using during that time. So it helps us to optimize our coding process. In the picture, there is a iceberg which is showing in the top. It seems to be very small, but in other words, in the background or in the bottom, you have a biggest iceberg, but the application users might not know the effect of the problem. That is what it is indicating now. zTREX is a tool which is help us to identify and optimize the our coding process. We have levels of performance monitoring. One is on the transaction level. It just monitors the resources by the transaction level and identify how many ECBs are there, and ECB level, totally how many ECBs are involved in a transaction, and each ECB how much resources are using. So those are all monitored on the ECB level. And the next level is the program level. Each and every program's stage and their counts, how many macros it is using, how many instructions it is using, those are all monitored through the program level. And next level is the file level. When the transaction made in a system, we might not know how many files are used in the transaction, so we are monitoring that on the file level. These are the different kind of performance monitoring we are using in TREX. Before going too much into the presentation, let me go to the demo. And here is the ZTPF screen, and we can find the zTREX interface in the Analyze tab. So here are the different levels of performance monitoring, like summary, program, instruction, and file levels. Once we connect it to this will be enabled. So let me just connect to the system. Now I'm going to connect with the VPZTPF4, that is a demo system. So once I connected with the system, you'll be able to see all these buttons enabled now. So based on the user preference, we can collect for the performance monitoring. So now I'm going to set the summary level, program level, instruction count. So before turning on instruction count, let me give you an overview of instruction count. Instruction count will go and monitor each and every instruction executed in the system. So it will be overhead to the system. So before setting up the instruction count, please make sure you are giving some level of overhead to the system. So once you've done your performance monitoring, please turn off this instruction count. So for now, for the demo, I'm just turning on the instruction count and the file level. So all the four icons are enabled now. Going back to the system and click on the terminal. I'm going to give an entry ZUV0. It involves different ECBs. So it just executed a transaction. It also collected some level of performance monitor information. So now here is the TREX file. So once your transaction completed, this you'll get this screen. So you can modify the TREX file name as you wish. So now I'm going to modify this name as ECB3. So you can save with the same name, or else you can rename whatever you want. And if you want, you can discard the transaction. For now, I'm going to save with this current name. I'm going to save this. And now my TREX is captured. I'm going back to the Analyze tab. Here is the zTREX icon. Once you click on this, you'll get this tab. Let me just open that particular transaction file. Now here is a particular transaction information. So I just set up all the levels of performance monitoring, like transaction, file, ECB, and instruction levels. So now here is the summary of the performance monitoring. In this case, we have collected informations like program entries, last program entered, last object entered, and how much MIPS it has used, CPU utilization, and how much the DF calls utilize the CPU utilization, and how many number of macro calls, instructions. As I said, the instructions also counted here, and the function calls, how many number of function calls are executed during this transaction, and DF calls, how many number of DF calls are executed during the transactions, and how many number of 4K frames used during the transaction, that is displayed here. So one 4K frame is used here, and number of 1 MB frames, that is also displayed here, that is 7 here, and the pool gets. This is on the file related information, like how many number of pool files we are getting during the transaction, and how many of them are LST or SL small files, or how many of them released. Those are all displayed here. And next one is the fixed file information. Here how many find counts called, that is showing here in find count, and only 4 of them filed, the rest of them just a file read. So those informations are logged here. So this is on the overall summary of the transaction. So we have different levels of performance monitoring, and not only the monitoring, during the transaction we need to compare the performance. For example, a user written a new application or new enhancement. So once he implemented his enhancement, he just needs to know, or else he wishes to know the application used more resources after the new implementation, or he written the code to reduce the resources. So based on the TREX comparison, he might be come to a conclusion. So now that is how TREX is used in real time. So not only the logging, it also a comparison during the logging. That is what the TREX is all about. And that is a question. Yeah, it's a CPU utilization, and that is a question. Did you say CPU number was the number of MIPS used? It's actually a microseconds. CPU utilization is calculated with the microseconds. That is what we have displayed here, not the MIPS. I just used the MIPS so that TPF in TPF world people are well versed with the MIPS word. That's why I used the word MIPS. Am I answered your question? And here this is the summary of the transaction, and we have different levels of information collected here. So let me go through one by one. Here as the input, this is nothing but what kind of input that we provided, that is logged here. So ZUVA0 entry is a entry that I used for the input, so that is logged here. So, and next will be the CPU. This will be showing us CPU utilization, each and every ECB level. When I click on the transaction level, I have 6 ECBs. So each and every ECBs are utilizing certain amount of CPU. So here the ECB 1 is utilized a maximum number of CPUs. So that is what displayed here in the pie chart. And other ECBs are used very minimal amount of CPUs. So the CPU is calculated with the microseconds. So that is displayed here. So for understanding of the users, we have provided in the pie chart, so that it will be easy to compare and easy to analyze the CPU utilization. Here the ECB1 is the highest number of CPU utilized ECB. And same like the macros. Now here each and every ECB using a certain amount of macros. In the previous CPU utilization we have saw ECB1 is the maximum utilized CPU seconds. Here we have 349 macros. That's why it has taken a more amount of CPU utilization. So and the other ECBs are executed very small amount of macros. If we look at the ECB5, we have only 2 macros executed, and in the ECB15 we only have 8 macros executed, and in 14 it's only 8. So based on the macros executed, the CPU utilization is varied. That is clearly shown in this. Not only the macro pie chart, and we also have the macro detail table. So if I click on the macro detail table, each and every macros in each and every ECB, what are the macros executed, how many of them are executed, those are all given in a detailed view here. So if you look at the table, we have 17 attacks and 17 detacks, and 3 file Cs and file uses. Like that, all macros are displayed here. So as we look at the CPU utilization, ECB1 is the maximum used ECB. So we have all the 349 macros are here. This is what the macro detail table. And next one will be the macro detail table chart. The first macro total is displayed with the ECB level, and the next one will be the macro level. So each and every it's based on the macros we have provided the chart. So for example, once after the change, the user wants to know whether the find count is reduced or the file count is reduced, whether the getCC count is reduced. He can be able to compare with these charts. That is what displayed here. And the next one is the instruction count. So here each and every ECB, how many number of instructions executed. So those things will be displayed here. Probably ECB1 is the maximum used ECB. So we have 80,236 instruction executed in ECB1, and all the other ECBs are executed very a small amount of instructions, so 55, 27 like that. So those are all displayed here with the instruction chart. And the next important thing will be the programs. So how many programs are executed in each and every ECBs. So in ECB1 we have 627 programs executed, and all the other ECBs there are only 1 programs executed. That is displayed here in the chart. And let me go to the frames. How many number of 4K frames are used? How many number of 1 MB frames used? Those things will be displayed here. If you look at the ECB, there are 2 MB frames in ECB1. On all the other ECBs are having only 1 MB frames. Usually when an ECB created, there will be 1 MB memory will be allocated. So that is default for each and every ECB. That is what displayed. So each and every ECB having 1 MB frame thing, very 4K 1 MB pie charts. So based on the ECB, we just displayed the different chart so that we can compare how many number of memory used in each and every ECBs. So once after the change, you can give the same entry and you can compare the value. It seems there is a question from Christine. Please unmute her. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what's included in the instruction count.
Okay. Instruction counters, each and every program executing few number of instructions, right? So we are just calculating each and every instructions. Even in the macros, if you expand the macros, few number of instructions will be executed. So those instructions will be calculated on the ECB and program levels. That is on the instruction tab.
Okay. So it's only the application, not the CP or middleware.
Not on the middleware, but some level of IBM programs also captured here. If you look at the CAA, this is not an application program, and WGR1, this is not the application program. We just collect from the starting of the transaction. So if you want to look at only the application program, even we have program level information, just look at the application program, you'll be able to know how many instructions are executed.
Okay. So you're basically counting maybe just the ECB E-type programs maybe.
Yes, right. Yeah, right.
Okay.
So we also provided the program level of information so that by clicking on the program, you'll be able to know the instruction count in the particular program.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because if you modify a program, if you add other macros, I mean, it's not really useful to compare unless it's purely an application change.
I understand that. That is why we also collected the program level of information. So by clicking at each application program, you'll be able to know how the instruction is modified, how many number of instructions.
So what's more useful is just the execution time, and that you collect, I guess, from the iStream time from the ECB, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I just move on to the next level, that is on the finds and files. So we have received 3 files, and all the 3 files are filed. So those are displayed here in the finds and file tabs. And next thing will be the pool files. So how many number of pool files received during the transaction, that is monitored here. So based on the size and release, we have different tabs here. So total number of pool gates is 1. So pool release and detailed pool gates, everything will be displayed here. This is very small transaction, so we don't have much file find and pool related operations. But I can display a different file which is used more number of file operations. So maybe I can go back to this one. So here is the file transaction. Maybe here I have number of pool file finds. I have 16 finds and files used. So, but even in this program, I'm used very minimum number of pool files. So you'll be get information like whether it's a small short or large short, and small long or large long, or the 4K pool or the 4K long. So based on the file type, you'll have different levels of information and chart, so that it will be easy to compare with the previous transactions. So that is on the pool level of transaction. And next thing will be the function calls. So when we are giving an entry, we might have number of function calls executed. So here in this particular transaction, we have 1446 functions calls executed in ECB 101. Maybe I just switched to a different transaction. That is why it is showing 101. Let me go back to the previous one. Here, if you look at this, I have 1446 functions calls executed. So this is on the function call. There is no other function calls in other ECBs. Only the ECB1 is the ECB which is executed function calls. That is the main ECB, it seems. So that is on the function calls. And next thing will be the TF calls. So how many number of TF calls executed in each and every ECB, that is displayed here. These are all not only in the ECB level, even I can go on the program level. If you look at the program, you'll be able to get the information on the program. There is a question from Tim. Chitra, can you please unmute Tim?
Yes, I was just wanting to clarify that one input you kicked off actually kicked off about 5 ECBs.
Yes, right.
Okay.
It's an entry. I'm just written a program which is creating child ECBs, so that I can show you information on each ECB and each program level. That's why I just choose this program, this particular transaction.
Okay. It was first a little confusing because you named the whole file ECB3, but really you could have called it input 3,
okay,
making
okay.
5 ECBs.
Okay, yeah, I
Okay,
understand.
yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this is on the TF calls, and it's similar like tape. For now, I'm clicked on the transaction level, so I'm just clicked the complete transaction. All the information what we are looking at here is the transaction level. So for throughout the transaction, how many tapes or read, how many tapes writes, how many read writes, and how many DF calls. That is what I'm displaying, not on each ECB or each program. This is throughout the transaction level. Let me split the same transaction into a different perspective. Maybe in the particular transaction, I have 6 different ECBs. So I can go through information on each ECB level. Sometimes how many number of program entries stayed in the particular ECB, and what is the last program entered, and how many number of files it is used. Those are all displayed on the ECB level. So here is the ECB1, which is used to maximum number of programs. So I'm just clicked on the ECB. So if you click on the ECBs, you'll get the information based on the ECB level. You'll get all these information on the ECB level. And I can go show you a different perspective now. This is the program level. So each and every ECB, there are hundreds of programs executed. So here in this particular ECB, ECB01, we have around 627 program entries called. We might have only 10 or 15 programs here, but these 15 programs are entered back and forth. That's why it is showing 627. You can go through. For example, I'm just during the transaction or during this entry, I just modified only a particular program. Maybe UVA0 is the program. I just modified. So in this case, what I can do is I can just select that particular program and look at the summary. So this particular program is entered only one time, and this particular program is utilized 755 microseconds, and there is no DF calls in this program. Number of macros executed is 38, and the instruction executed is 178, and number of pull gets is 1, pull release is 1, and find count is 3, file count is 3. So this is how we can I can go through each and every program. So particularly as an application programmer, we especially interested in our modified program, not all the program. So just by clicking at the program, you'll be get information like this. So not only the summary, you can go through macro levels, instructions levels, find files, everything will be displayed. This is on the program level. So right now we saw all the information collected, what are the information we are collecting for analyzing data, everything. So the collecting the information will not help us to optimize our code. The comparing the data is the key to optimize our code. So the first thing what we need to do was once we need to get the data before loading our modification. So once we get the data, we need to load our modification, and then we need to pump our next transaction. To get the 2 different entries and 2 different datas, compare the 2 data, so that you'll be know how much effectively we coded, whether it has increased the system utilization or not. So for now, maybe I can use ECB3 and ECB2. Both are same entry, I would say, UVA0, and ECB2 also UVA0. So what I can do is I'll just remove these files now. So I have 2 transactions now. For now, we're just looking at the single view. We also have a tile vertical view. So let me click on the tile vertical view. Now, if you look at this, I have 2 different, maybe ECB3. Okay, ECB3 is a different transaction. Import as UVA0. This is UVA2, it seems. Okay, let me open a different one. Okay, I'm just looking at the two transactions now. So both the transactions are 4K frames or 1 and 1 MB frames. So there is not much difference because I haven't modified anything. Maybe the CPU utilization may vary. It is because of the system response time. So I'm just comparing on the tile view. If you want, you can compare on the horizontal view. So you can easily compare both the values. So for now, I'm going back to the single view now. So I'm just selecting both ACBs. So if you look at this, now I'm just selected both the transaction. So both the transactions are displayed here. The CPU time, the ECB3 took 61,379, but the ECB2 took only 60,647. And the DF CPU utilization, it is 1845, and here the ECB2 is 1822. And the macros called is first is the 377, and the second one is 378. And the instruction executed is 80,455, and this one is 80,591. So program entries 632, and the last program entered, everything are same. So if you look at this, so this is not only on the ECB transaction level, you can also compare these things on the ECB level. For example, I'm just clicking the first ECB and this first ECB. I'm just click the control key so that I can select both the ECBs. So if you look at this, I can compare both the values. Not only the summary, you also compare the both CPUs. If you look at the CPUs, it will clearly tell you which ECB is taking higher amount of CPU utilization, and the macros, instructions, programs, pins, files, finds, polls, function calls, TF, tapes. So everything will be displayed here. So this is how we can compare the data, and ECB1 is the main ECB. So I'll just click on the ECB1 and go to the summary. Okay, I just selected the different ECB it seems here. Okay, here it's ECB 138 and ECB1 is the main ECB. So if you look at this, so, what is the how many number of programs executed, 4K frames, 1 MB frames, so everything will be displayed here. So this is on the ECB level. So even you can compare the data on the program level. In the ECB1, particularly I'm using the application as UEA0. So I just selected the UEA0, and I'm going back to the ECB2 and looking at the UEA0. So just selected UEA0. Here the UVA0. Now I just selected both the programs. I can compare the values of UVA0. So this is how we can compare the particular application programs, how many CPU it is utilized, how many macros executed, how many instructions executed. So those kind of information you'll be able to know. But let me go on to the files. So previously there is no file operations in that particular transaction, but I've just opened a new transaction file now. This will be using different file finds operations. So if you look at this, find file details, here we have like three finds and 1 files are executed. So that is displayed here. And what is that particular file address you got, and which ECB received and whether it is a fixed file or a pool file, and which program received the file, and last file program address, and which macro it is file that used the file, and which subsystem. So we have all the other informations here. So based on the user need, they can group the values. Maybe I can group with the record ID. I can switch different based on my preference. I can change to any of the values. So this is how we can compare the find file values. So this is all about zTREX and performance monitor, how to effectively you can utilize in ZTPF. So if anybody has any question, please ask me. I'm open to questions now. Chitra, is there any question? Dinesh saying there is a question from Tim. Can you please unmute?
Did you said something, you used control something to juxtapose the two on one screen?
Okay, that is a control key. It's more like a
T like tango?
control. I'm just saying in my keyboard, I'm just used my control key, normal keyboard control key.
Oh, key.
Yeah,
K-E-Y?
Yeah, K-E-Y.
So you don't need control C or control D, or it's just the control key?
Just the control key. You can select two different. Okay. Now I just selected ECB3. I'm just pressing my control key and click the ECB3 so that the two transactions are.
Can I download that data outside of a TREX, like in a Word document or like Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, we have option to copy, and I can just display. For example, I have file information. I'm just selecting these files. Maybe let me select this file. I'm just copy and going back to Excel or Notepad. It's your wish. You can export to any of the format. So now, yeah, just pasting the values, and also we have option to explore the data, like just do a right click and explore files. So we are collecting information in this particular location. So these are the ZTEx file. For example, I'm working in a project. Two to three people are working in the same project. So my MIPS are increased. So I can share this ZTEx file to my peer so that he can compare copy the value and put it here in this folder, and it will be available here in the default directory so that he can compare the values. So you can send these files, ZTEx files. So copy and send to any of your peers. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, another question I had, like, do you record like overall execution time for an entry somewhere? Like, how long the entry took to execute?
You're asking program level or a transaction level?
Yeah. Like around 12 probably.
Yeah, we collected.
Like for entry, yeah.
We
like let's say
collected.
that entry took like 50 seconds to execute or something like that. Can I see it somewhere?
Yeah, here we have provided the information on the ECB and program level. So for example, this particular program UVA1 took the 236 microseconds. By clicking at the program, I'll be able to know particular time taken for this program.
Okay, so the CPU time is actual time ECB.
Yeah.
To execute. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Could you tell us how you created those zTREX files, please?
Okay, you want to look at where the zTREX files?
Yeah, how did you create those?
Okay. Yeah, it's automatically created when you are given the entry. That is what I've shown you. Like once you connected and turned on this icon, we are start collecting the information. So for now, these icons are not set up. So once I turn on these icons, once I turn on these buttons like summary, program, instruction, and file, I just turned on the TREX now. So from this point, if I give any entries, so I just gave this entry, the information of the ZTEx file was collected, maybe ZT of entry. I'm just given a name, save transaction. If I go back to the ZTEx, now the ZT of entry. So this particular entry, how much maps it taken, CPU, everything will be displayed here. So this is the key here. Yeah, once you turn on these buttons, ZTEx files will be enabled.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? It seems Victor having a question. Chitra, can you please unmute Victor? Okay, Victor, you are unmuted
Yeah,
now.
Patrick.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So you showed us how to collect the data for input entry, but we have, like, let's say if I want to collect data for ECB, which is basically initiated via web services. So is there a way how I can do it?
For
So
the web
it's not
servers,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So it's.
If it is originated from a web server, there is a way to capture that particular ECB here in.
So I have to go capture in the trace. Okay.
Yes, right. You need to capture the program here in ZTPFGA. The ZTREX is completely for ZTPFGA related tool. So you cannot capture outside ZTPFGA.
But will it impact my statistics if I do a capture? So I do a capture like first segment and just release it, and I should be able to collect the data.
You cannot collect all the data. Whatever the transaction or whatever the ECBs captured in ZTPFGA, those informations only you can collect.
Oh, really? Just,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's basically the entries triggered from ZTPFGA, not from outside. So, and there is a question from Ron. How do you delete TDEX?
Unmuted.
It's very simple. Just do a right click. We just provided the option to delete. Just do the delete. So it will delete the files. Or else just explore files, and this particular location will open. Just select the files and do a delete. So that will be deleted. So this is how you can delete the files. You have any other questions? I don't see any other questions now. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thank you for participating in the webinar. So at the end of this webinar, you'll be asked a survey how the webinar is useful and all the information. Please go ahead and provide information for us. This will be the feedback for us to improve more and more and give you more valuable thoughts to you. Thank you everyone. Thank you for participating in the webinar. Thank you.